Welcome, Nuggets Nation. Leo, we are,
My
uh,
man,
yeah, we got the dub tonight against the Jazz.
sure did.
But games we're going to be covering, and I guess we'll talking just Nuggets in general. We started with a 3-point loss to the Mavs in a very, very tough game. Felt like we should have won that one, but then we moved on to the Lakers and, reminded them that the times have changed. And then we got absolutely unmercifully humbled against the New York Knickerbockers.
Yes.
Um, that was one of the ugliest games I've seen this Nuggets team play in a very long time. And we will get to all the ugly. My friend, are you ready?
My man. Let's bring it in.
All right, welcome back. Nuggets Hustle here. Leo and Donnie. Buddy, we just went 2-2 on this road trip. I guess we just started this road trip. And I believe we are now 10 and 8, 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 10, 10, 8. Or
Yeah.
no.
10
No,
and
10
7.
and 7. 10 and
10.
7.
Yeah, we're 10
Yes.
and 7 and I heard a stat today that I believe we started 10 and 7 the year we won it. If that makes
Hey,
you feel any better, I feel like if you're looking at the eye test,
it doesn't.
it's a very different feeling.
Nope.
Yep. So first things I want to talk about, um, it's a word that I use a lot. You're probably tired of me here saying it. It's probably a word you use a lot as a coach. It's something that is required in life in general, and that is effort, Leo.
Ah,
Effort.
oh,
Um,
man.
Effort right now, I mean, especially in that Knicks game. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like we could have played four people from the stands and I wouldn't have noticed a difference. Alongside Joker. I didn't understand what was happening. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Knicks are a very good team. Anunoby didn't he have his career high 40 points.
Yeah.
Um,
Good for
eh,
him.
yeah, good for him. And don't get me wrong, I think AG holds him to at least 10 less, at least. But do we win that game with AG? Probably not. That game was the scar that we have so far of this season.
Yeah.
But then the Lakers game was probably the high of the season, right? With the exception,
Yeah.
maybe we beat the Thunder without AG and Murray. I guess you could say that. Um, but yeah, I want to talk to you about effort, man, because I,
We beat these good teams when we have someone, but we don't beat some of these bad teams when we don't have someone. That's my thought.
yeah, yeah,
And so I feel like to beat, a bad team. Well, I mean, I'm thinking of tonight the Jazz, but to beat the Thunder, to beat the Lakers by a significant amount, that's big on us, man. That's awesome. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah. The effort. I mean, I'm talking more about the effort, and it's just been terrible.
I I I agree. I also think that is it the personnel that we have tonight
I don't
or
think it's.
before or I don't know.
I personally don't think it's an excuse. I mean, ever since Joker came back, we've gone what, two and
Yeah,
two.
that's true.
So,
It's very
uh,
true.
um, I mean, effort. One of the biggest stats in basketball that requires effort is rebounding, and we've been giving up what I think are number one. We give up either a ridiculous amount, or we're giving them up in really, really bad scenarios, right? Like offensive rebounds can hurt in specific situations,
Yeah,
and I can think how many times in that Knicks game we're trying to keep pace, we're trying to get back into it. Maybe we make like a 4-0 run, and then all of a sudden they
yeah,
miss a three, and we give up a huge offensive rebound. They hit another three, or they get another bucket, get to the line, something to absolutely kill the momentum. And I looked it up tonight. Against the Mavs, we gave up 12 offensive rebounds, got out rebounded total. Um, we gave up only 6 offensive rebounds against the Lakers,
Okay.
and we won
Okay.
that rebound total.
Yeah.
Um, got out rebounded against the Knicks, only gave up 8, but I felt like in that game, the offensive rebounds we gave up were so they were it was so big in the moment, right?
Yes, very true. And we also gave up a lot of easy shots, in my opinion. So,
hmm Wide open
but
threes.
yeah, yeah. But also the rebounding, it's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then
Um,
what would it look like after that?
Tonight we gave up 21
Yeah.
offensive rebounds. Yeah.
I mean, we won by what, 20, 25 or something like that?
Yeah, and I think that's like a huge thing is tonight we got away with it because we're playing against, a team that would
Yeah.
probably dominate the G League, but is right on the fringe of the G League. I mean, they didn't have Clarkson, didn't have Laurie Markkinen. I think there was a couple others they didn't have.
John Collins.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
definitely like I don't know, thin Jazz, and it's a team that, especially right now, I expect to win every single time. I don't care where it is. Could be in
Here's some
Utah.
light jazz, if you will.
Yeah. Um, but the effort has just been it's been
Donnie, you're
poor.
right. What am I saying? I agree. It's
It's
been
just
terrible.
it's just been poor. And
Yeah.
I mean it I mean I was gonna save this till the end, but I'm just gonna bring it up. Jamal
Say
Murray.
it. Ah,
Jam
Donnie.
Jamal Murray, who are you? I don't know you anymore.
Ah,
And I don't want to see these stats of like, oh, he had 27 in this game. Look at the eye test. All right. Like he's missing shots he normally makes. He's still a very big liability on defense.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
his passes are just a bit off. Doesn't have that sink in the two-man game with Yoke anymore.
Mhm. He had
And
a great steal tonight
I did see
in
that one.
he's playing 94 feet, as Mike Malone called it in the press conference. But what about in the last 25 feet? That's my concern. I want to see defense in the last 25. You know what I mean?
hmm
I just, I don't know.
Yeah. And
I'm right there with you, Donnie.
I mean, effort, look, Russell Westbrook is going to give you turnovers and he's going to, either shoot 10 for 10 from the free throw line or shoot 0 of 7. But I was telling you tonight, dude, at least I feel like he's giving it 100% all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, my goodness. And I don't know if like it worries, and maybe I think what worries me more than Jamal not giving effort is like maybe that's just who he is now.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have that step anymore. I don't know. And that worries me because we just gave him a contract that's going to keep us in cap hell for at least 4 or 5 years. And I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of the extent of Joker's
Mhm.
window.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, Westbrook's Westbrook's impact was very I've liked it. I mean, I guess just give me your take on so far the Westbrook experiment.
Donnie,
I
I disagree, man.
You don't like it?
I was all about it when we first drafted him, man. I remember I said let's start him. I said we should start him, and then I was get down, and then I disagreed, and I got off board, and I was like, eh, I think they're empty calories. That's my opinion. I think that he is a hustler, but also I say that, and he has like what, like 7 assists, 8 assists, had 19 points last night, or not last night, 2 nights ago. I feel like we are still searching for our guard.
Okay. I mean,
It might be Straw.
yeah. I mean,
Maybe it's Russ. I don't know. Maybe it's Jamal. I just we don't have a good. And that's my big concern. I know you love our big man problem is still a problem. But Donnie, I'm telling you, man, we got to solve the guard problem.
Yeah, I mean, there's two problems, and we need to
Yeah,
solve them. I think the the reason I talk about the big is because of who it's backing up, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
like,
No, you're right, and that makes sense.
and like with the guards, I mean, Jamal's just. I feel like there's no change really.
Yeah,
Like when Russ comes in, Strother comes in, there's just no change,
yeah,
and that's not a compliment to our bench. That's certainly not a compliment to Jamal. I
no,
mean, it should be very normal that the level of talent or whatever you want to call it drops slightly when your reserves come in,
yeah.
right?
I agree.
However, I mean, I I still think and you said this, I still think we're gonna wait. We're waiting around for Bubba Murray somewhere. I don't know if that was just a fluke or if that's still in him. And as far as the backup guards go, I think Bruce Brown set the dang bar so high.
Hmm. I
Like,
agree. Yeah,
like how are we supposed to ever reach that level again? I mean, I'd hope we could do it with, a bit or with a former MVP and, triple double leader. Um, I understand he has not been at the top of his game the past few years, but
but honestly, man, he's doing not terrible.
I've enjoyed it, man. I've
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
I
I've
have
enjoyed
too.
it. I mean, there's things that frustrates me. Like tonight, I feel like when he goes to the hoop, and I don't know, maybe this was just the way the NBA was, 5, 6 years ago, and I would say it probably was. He would have gotten a lot of those calls,
Yeah,
and he kind of just throws it at the hoop. And I'm like, dude, there was not that much contact. There was contact, but you should have just finished that.
I'm glad he doesn't get those calls anymore.
I know. I know.
And and I think Joel Embiid has really tampered that down too, because he got a lot of those calls
Yeah.
and he got the MVP.
Yeah. Like I'm kind of, you gotta, I mean, again, I say this all the time. This is not tennis. It's a
Yeah,
contact sport,
yeah.
to a certain level of sure, but the finishing ability has just been really off with Russ. Um, at least at times. I actually think it's grown through this year. And maybe my expectations are so high because of who he is, right? We're still maybe hoping that all of a sudden for 1 year, 2 years, he can roll back
Yeah.
the years and be the freak that he was with OKC.
Maybe we don't need to have him be that. Maybe we do. I don't know.
Even a percentage of that I take, which I think we're starting to get. I truly
Yeah.
think that.
Yes.
Um, I do like when he's out there, he pushes the pace. With Jamal, I don't feel that, dude. It's a walk up. There's no easy buckets.
It's very
It's
ESPN Sports Center.
oh my gosh, yeah. Like I just Jamal, like again, I'm not a Jamal. I don't I'm not anti Jamal, but like anyone who watches basketball can look at him play right now and say, yeah, that's not a starting guard on a team that should be considered contenders.
We need literally some more Huss.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, do you see Joker's comments at the end of the tonight's game about asking, I can't remember the question, something about like, are you back to playing Nuggets basketball? And he just quickly answered, not even close. And
Love it.
yeah,
Love it.
I love that response because I agree. I mean, tonight, dude, we were pretty bad at times. Again, 21 offensive
Yeah.
rebounds given up. Um, I mean, Utah's just not a good team. Like, I don't want to give credit to
It's no
something.
disrespect either.
No, I mean, Lauri Markkanen on the floor changes that team dramatically.
And their other two starters.
Exactly.
It's just
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, and I don't want to sit here and praise the Nuggets after getting absolutely destroyed by the Knicks for doing
Yeah.
something they should do, and that's beat up on the Jazz, right? Especially when you're, 90% healthy. Yes, AG's out, but Peyton Watson doing his best to fill in. Um, and that's another question I have, rotation, because I'm still confused. One night we're getting
Why?
Trey Alexander.
We've
Uh,
talked about it almost every night, man.
dude, we had
Almost every night, man.
at one point we had three point guards out there.
Yep.
Russ, Jamal, and Trey. And I'm just like, I'm not saying you can only have one. Like I think when Jamal and Westbrook play together, that's okay. It's fine. But and then we see, two first names. Like the guy plays, 7 minutes, gets 7 points, right? And then doesn't play for the next three games. And then all of a sudden he's back in tonight, making plays, making mistakes. I loved it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but there is one that is sticking, and I don't know when this started. I want to say it was the Laker game. DJ. We're fine. I think Malone is finally caving into the idea that Zeke Naji and Dario Saric are just not going to cut it for those. I mean, tonight I understand it
And
was the Jazz. Or go ahead.
I was gonna say neither is DJ, but uh, he's better than the other two. So
Yeah, like
you know,
it's that
you go
veteran
with what
presence.
works. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the style that are if the other four are gonna sprint and run, 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 he can be the calming presence that stays, and you can lob it, or you can brick a three, and he might get a tip or a rebound.
hmm
That's what I think.
Yeah, and he's a good rim protector.
Yeah,
A little better rebounder than Saric and Zeke. Uh,
yeah, 100%.
I mean, I still think Zeke has the physical attributes to be the guy,
Donnie,
but he's not putting it together. So we can't I I look at him and I think, dude,
potential is the worst word in basketball.
yeah, it's the truth. That's the truth. I mean,
It's the worst word, man.
and we've given him a good run. I mean, he basically had most of last year.
Ship
This
him
year,
out. Go full J Huff, man. Do what you can.
yeah. Um, but I do like the DJ rotation. I think I
I
can't remember if
agree
it
with
was
you on that.
against the Lakers or the Knicks, and uh, granted, very, very two different games. But I felt like Joker had opportunities to sit more. I think they ran him up to like 38 to close to 40 minutes in the Laker game. We had our starters out there up like 20 late in the
Yeah,
game, and I just
yeah,
didn't understand.
yeah.
Um, I think maybe same with the Knicks. No, not against the Knicks, because I remember Thibodeau finished the game essentially with his entire lineup, and they had that game won in the first quarter. Yeah, I mean that was classic Thibodeau. Like,
Come
I
on, Tom.
yeah, I
Come
mean
on.
and honestly, man, I kind of understand it to a certain extent.
You pay them for a reason.
Yeah, I mean you pay them for a reason, and there's so many games in the NBA. Like, how many times do you have to practice to stay in shape? You have to getting in shape
Yeah.
before the season is one thing, but you have to maintain that, right? And you
And
know,
when you
to
don't have a Nicola, run
yeah,
your guys, And
yeah,
Jalen's what, 25?
yeah, he's young.
Run the horses.
He had a night. He had a good night.
They're meant to play.
Yeah,
And this is like prime time to play.
yeah,
Last what, 15 games before All-Star break.
yeah,
Let them go. I don't know.
yeah.
So,
You got any last
but
words about?
also,
Or go ahead, sorry, man. Sorry.
I just you said it, Donnie. Jamal, rotation, and big man. Those are the three vices right now. And I think if we figure that out, we'll be okay.
Yeah, hope so. I mean,
What are your thoughts on?
yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the standings, right? And I don't know what we're in after tonight, but we were, I think, in the eighth spot before the game. And
Now I think we're in the 7.2.
okay. I mean, it's just I if you look at where we were the past couple years, it's
Yeah.
just not a place we're normally at, right? And I
Yeah.
understand it's still early, but then, I kind of looked at games back and we're only, I think, four losses behind, the top
One.
team in the West.
Yeah.
Maybe it was less actually. That's really not that many. With as
No.
many games as there are left in this season, so many things can happen. Injuries are going to happen. I don't want them to happen. I'm not wishing injuries on anyone. I'm
Yeah.
just saying like things happen, right? And we just have to keep pace. Like you have to win games like against the Jazz. You have to sneak out
Yeah.
games like we should have snuck out that game against Dallas,
I
right?
was at the Mavs. Oh my gosh, man, that game haunts me.
I know. It was so frustrating.
All that work
Yeah.
for
And I'm
nothing.
and I remember you texting me that. It's like, we played him I think like 40 plus.
Yep. For a
And
comeback. And
yeah,
I don't, even with the loss, I don't disagree with playing in the minutes because we thought we had the win. We thought we were coming back.
yeah. I don't necessarily have any other thoughts about this. It's more about just we need to string together winning streaks, right? We
Yeah.
need to put together some good performances, beat the teams that we should beat, and then compete with the teams that we need to compete with. Um, I think I could swallow that Knicks loss if we had competed.
Or I can take getting beat by 40 because it's happened to me as a coach more times than I'd like to admit. As long as you're hustling, man, you're
Hmm.
diving for basketballs, you're making the extra effort, you're making the extra pass, you know,
Effort.
you're angry with your bad play. Like, I don't know,
I
just
agree.
showing me something.
Yeah, I couldn't agree
Like,
more, man.
just you can't let the dog die. So,
Yeah. And I think we're the worst first quarter team in the league right now.
and
Um,
what did you say last year? We were the best team.
yeah, I mean, we were last year we were able to get away with a lot of the non-Nicola time because we would have, a 10 plus lead going into every Nicola bench time,
Hmm.
and we'd give that up, but then he'd at least come back on the floor, within range. And now it's
Yeah,
like he's
yeah,
sitting while we're down or tied,
yeah,
and that's scary. Um, but I agree with you. I think we are going to figure it out. It's not like you and I are sitting here spitting concerns that Mike doesn't know.
yeah.
I mean, these are beyond obvious. Um, it's up to him to fix them. I do believe he has the he's got the tools to do it. It's just
Yeah.
about whether we're going to see it. Um, yeah. Anything else, my friend?
Hey, man, I still think we have it. We have the best player in the world. We have what could be a top 20 guy in the world, and we have a really good coach. Um, and hey, man, we're backing him up. I think we got it.
Yeah, yeah. AG being out sucks, but it's also given Peyton a ton of time, and I like that.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that a lot.
Oh, and then you forget our second best player is hurt.
Exactly.
Our second best player as of this year, you know,
Yeah.
our top three, top four guy is
Uh,
out, and
arguably our
that's huge
second
for
most
us.
important. Yeah.
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 So, and he's our pizzazz guy.
Hmm.
He's great on the bench, but he's even better on the floor. So
Yeah.
pizzazz. That's my
Yeah.
word of the night.
Um, all right, buddy. Can you remind the people for us?
Everyone, please do not forget to show some hus.
Go Nuggets.
But what about Joker and Murray? Joker and Murray. Joker and Murray. Joker and Murray. Let's go. If you got respect for the game, it's time that you put some respect on the name. Joker and Murray and Joker a duo that cannot be tamed. You got seconds on the clock. There go Murray with the shot. Yeah, that's a Murray flurry in a hurry. Came to give it all you got. Everybody showing some hugs. It's in Nicola we trust. But you gotta have an MP jump shot, leaving the competition in the dust. Come up in the Mile High City, never coming down like AG50. You looking at a squad full of champions. Tell me now, ain't that nifty? Not talking about Boa, but Rocky gon' show up and give all the fans what they love. If there's a rim in vicinity, there ain't no question, gotta stay above. Them boys from the 5280 gon' pull up and always be about a bucket. In case you confused, yeah, you know what to do. I'm talking about the different nuggets. You heard of Magic and Bird. You heard of Shaq and Kobe. You heard of Jordan and Pippen. But what about Joe it's green. We talking about Oliver Queen, but blue is the new one, he's reigning supreme. You can hate, but check the ring. Never underestimate the heart of a champion, it's Mike Malone. You could come for 7, but have your bags, gotta know you going home. You coming to play at the altitude, you better get your O2 ready, cause it's gonna be a breathtaking experience, and you know we gonna rock steady. Yeah, you heard of Magic and Bird and Jordan and Pippen and all the big threes, but what's it gonna take for these people to see that they should hop on and believe? We ain't content, so you better think twice if you think that we stopping at one. You dealing with Joker and Murray, don't worry, the fun is only just begun. You heard of Magic and Bird, you heard of Shaq and Kobe, you heard of Jordan and Pippen, but what about Joker and Murray? Joker and Murray, Joker and Murray, Joker and Murray.